So find the critical numbers. So first we're going to take this derivative, set it equal to 0. We'll take the derivative first. So f prime of x is 4x to the, 12x to the third, right? 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract 1 from the exponent. And 12x squared. Set that equal to 0 and solve. So that's going to be 12x cubed minus 12x squared equals 0. Factor out 12x squared. That'll be x minus 1. So that's going to give me x equals 0 and x equals 1. All right, and now what we're going to do is make a chart. And when I make a chart, I'm going to include the endpoints. So I'm going to say -1, 0, 1, 2, x, f of x. So I'm going to plug in -1. So -1 is going, and then whenever you plug it in, you go to the original function. So I'm plugging -1 into the original function. That's going to be 3 plus 4, which is 7. Plug in 0, I get 0. Plug in 1, I get -1. 3 minus 4 is -1. Plug in the 2. Can't do that one in my head. 2 to the 4th is 16. Minus 4 times 2 to the 3rd is 8. So that's 48 minus 32, or 16. So 16. So we have a maximum. So max of 16 at x equals 2. And we have a min of -1 at x equals 1. That's the absolute extrema for this function on that interval. Okay, next example. Find the extrema of 2 sine x minus cosine 2x on that interval. So first take the derivative. F prime of x equals 2 cosine x minus or plus 2 sine 2x, right? Derivative cosine is negative sign, so there's a negative there, so it makes it positive. Chain rule says take the derivative of 2x, which is 2. Set that equal to 0. So it's 2 cosine x plus 2 sine 2x equals 0. All right, so whenever you solve any kind of trig function, you don't want them to have different angles. So you have an angle of x here and an angle of 2x here. So I want them to be both 2x or both x. What I want to do is use a double angle formula for sine. And when I do that, I get, so this is a 2, that 2, but sine 2x becomes 2 sine x cosine x. All right, so 2 sine x cosine x is a double angle formula for sine 2x. And let's clean that up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and factor out. I forget it. I lost people last time. So 2 cosine x is going to be 4 sine x cosine x equals 0. I'm going to take out a 2 cosine x. So 2 cosine x. That's be 1 plus 2 sine x. And set each factor equal to 0. Solve. So that means 2 cosine x equals 0. And 1 plus 2 sine x equals 0. Cosine x equals 0 when x equals pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. And I notice that 3 pi over 2 is not in this interval, so we don't worry about that one. And 1 plus 2 sine x equals 0 when sine x equals -1/2, right? I just bring the 1 over and then divide by 2. And that's going to give me, what is that? Pi over 6. Oops, that's incorrect. It's -1/2. Pi over 6 is +1/2, so I want the negative version on the interval 0 to pi over 2, and there are none. Wow, okay, so there are none. All right, so then it's just pi over 2, and that's it. So I just make a chart. 0 and pi over 2, x, f of x, and I have 0, plug in the 0 into the original function, 2 sine x, 2 times 0 is 0, minus cosine of 0, so that's -1, plug in pi over 2, and I get, plug in pi over 2, that's 2 times 1, And 2 times pi over 2 is pi, so it's cosine of pi, which is -1, so it's 2 plus 1, or 3. So we have a min of -1 and a max of 3. Min of -1 at x equals 0, max of 3 at x equals pi halves. All right. I'm going to do the next example on